Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and this is episode 198 of my show. I am so very excited to introduce you to my next guest, the beautiful, talented lead singer of Starland, Jaclyn Kenyon. So Jaclyn is a Nashville-based singer-songwriter. She has been recognized as the youngest performer ever in Canada's all-female artist showcase Honey Jam. Earlier this month, her band Starland won season 1 of the new Access TV show Bandit. I'm so excited that Jaclyn is joining me on the show. And thank you guys for spending your weekend with us. We appreciate it. How we doing? And who in the chat has been watching Bandit? Let me know. So in the US, Bandit already finished. But in Canada, it's currently, all the episodes are happening. So I'm going to pin the comment that she has. And then Jaclyn, whenever you're ready, come on in. Let's get this party started. And please follow Jaclyn as well as Starland on Instagram.
Hello.
Hi, Jaclyn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming on my show. I'm so very excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me on. This is fun. I can't wait.
Yes. So I was giving you a wonderful introduction for people who don't know you. You have been doing this forever, and you were on a show called Bandit, where your band won the whole entire thing. How amazing.
It was incredible. It was literally such an insane opportunity. We finished filming in December of last year, and it just started getting released in the US. I don't know if you already talked about this yet, but in the US, and now it's in Canada. So it's very exciting, and I can't wait for people to see it. And it's just been such a wild ride. We're so grateful that we won, and our band we love each other. It's just from the beginning, there was something really special there, and I'm so excited that people can finally see it, and I hope that it translates on TV as much as it was happening in real life, because it was such a crazy opportunity, and yeah, it was amazing.
Heck yeah. And you guys only really knew each other like 2 months, right?
We only knew each other for 2 months. Like, no one knew each other in the house. I think there was maybe 2 people that played some gigs together around Nashville, but other than that, no one knew each other.
Yeah.
And it was really just throwing in a room, 25 people. Yeah, just kind of expect to get along, expect drama, expect food being, taken. There was just kind of everything, and it was chaos, but organized chaos. And every single week we were given a task on the show to do like a love song or do an anthem, and we were really writing for specific projects, so that was really, really fun. And I think it helped the band with just the flow and creativity from the beginning, because we had a challenge every week. So
amazing. And I feel like on the show there's only so much footage they can actually put into the show. Give us a little behind the scenes as to like, what did it look like in the house when you guys like were recording and writing and this? Like, was it like sheer pandemonium, or was it kind of like organized in a way?
I mean, so like it was organized, but you gotta like, I think this is what really kind of, it didn't throw us off, but it was just something that was a secondary thought, was that when you're writing these songs, to write them is one thing, but then we had to deliver a recording to the production team by the end of the week, because they had to make sure that the lighting went with all the music, and that the backgrounds that you saw in the show went with the music. So there was a lot of stuff that had to be delivered a lot quicker than people would think. And I mean, that comes from everything with like what our wardrobe was going to look like, what time we were going to be able to do sound check, how long we were going to be able to do our band practices, and making time in the house to do that. And so there was a lot of stuff that came with it that, I mean, you think about it, but it's a secondary thought when you're trying to just like focus on a task and a challenge every single week. So we had a lot of stuff that we had to do. We had a lot of limited time to be able to do it. And I think that's what made it exciting for people to watch on TV, because it really was what you see is what you get. Like, we were given an assignment and we had a week to complete it, and then we were already working on the next song. So it was just like boom, boom, boom the whole time.
So lots of early mornings, lots of late nights, like any sleep that you're getting or no?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, a couple people in our band, they like staying up really late. So, like, for example, Rob, he would be staying up late, and Wendy is a night hawk. So
Yeah.
they would really just focus on a lot of like stuff later on in the day for the tracks. But I'm like out at 10 p.m. I'm done. All my energy is in the daytime. So I feel like Molly's very similar to me that way too.
Yeah.
So we would kind of peace out. But yeah, there was sleep for sure. But yeah, everyone just like works differently. And of course, like, a lot of people wanted to explore Nashville too, and see different things, because like 2 guys from my band were from Florida. Yeah. And, you know, from other people that were living in the house, we had people from Minnesota and New York. And so there's just a lot of activities always going on. So yeah, I feel like, you know, people didn't get sleep, but I definitely got sleep. I know Molly got sleep.
I feel like you want to get sleep, but you're also really everything that's happening, right? Because like you are based in Nashville, so you knew Nashville, whereas other people from different states were like, oh my gosh, like, we're living with all these people and now we're in a band and like, let's go, you know, down to a bar somewhere. Like, it's just like pure like insanity and excitement all the time, right?
Oh, all the time. And like, the house that we were staying at it was far enough outside of downtown that you could, I mean, the Ubers were expensive and everything. So like, people could go out, but there's just limited amounts of like people going out. So when we went out, we would all try to go in a group together just so it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. I mean, the house had a lot of stuff to do too. It was beautiful. And yeah, it was a really, really cool experience.
I love that. So I want to talk about like your early childhood years. So
Yeah.
what did music mean to you while you were growing up?
Well, I mean, music was something that just came really naturally. I don't even remember like a moment where it clicked and I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I love this. It was always just kind of in my life. Like, my dad was a piano player, singer when I was younger, so I would learn from him and want to learn on the piano and different chords. And I remember one time he would just sing and I would like harmonize over him, and it was something that just came naturally and I loved it. And then I got involved in worship at my church when I was younger, and I would be on the worship band. And it just started opening, you know, doors elsewhere. People are like, oh, she should go on talent shows, or she should do this and that. And my parents were like, yeah, maybe. And there was this one showcase in particular called Honey Jam. And I was 12. I was the youngest artist that they ever had on this show. And it started bringing press attention. And my family was kind of like, oh, this is kind of scary, because it was all at once. And it was really just the first time where I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is something that I should look into doing. Like, this is not normal. This is really cool. And I started, just working with people, writing a lot, networking a lot, and didn't turn back from there, and just kept going and kept pursuing it. And so, I feel like it was just a very natural thing, but a lot of work, and just kept pushing for it.
Mm-hmm. So was there like a specific moment in your life during those childhood years where you were like, this is what I want to do, this is what I have to do?
I would say it was after Honey Jam. After Honey Jam, I was on stage and I was like, I just felt so comfortable. I don't know how to explain the feeling, but there's just like this crazy amount of peace after I performed on that stage, and I was like, I should be so scared right now because all these people are staring at me.
Yeah.
It's my first time with playing with a band and being on stage, but something just felt so right about it. And after that, I was like, I just got to do it. I have to do it. I don't know how to do it, but I just got to keep doing it and not look back. I never had a plan B. I think that was like my biggest thing, even in high school. I always had a plan A. It was like, even if I can't make this happen for some reason, I still have to go into something music related because I'm not good at anything else. Like, I just love music. Like, I really, really love music. And I think, like, you have to just go where your strengths are and not your weaknesses and just push forward and, like, see what happens. And so I've just been doing that, and I'm so grateful for where it's taken me because it's just opened doors that have been life changing, honestly. And obviously you try to like always look for like, oh, the journey and like how you got there, and trying to get to your goals all the time. But when I look back, I'm like, wow, like I've done so many cool things, and I'm just so grateful for all of those moments like in between because it's been such a wild ride.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that journey. You've like, worked with a lot of different people. How did some of those opportunities come about for you?
So, to be honest, a lot of them came from Honey Jam just because there was so much media attention around the show that it really started bringing me into writing opportunities with like 3 Days Grace. And I was working with Sony ATV in Canada, and there was just a lot of just very cool opportunities. And I think that obviously like my parents helped so much to start taking that momentum and like adding people on Facebook at the time and networking and bringing me to LA and bringing me to Nashville. And it was really just like trying to find everyone who could possibly help. And just yeah, I think that there's relationships are everything. Like they're literally everything. And just I've been very lucky to be surrounded by people that have believed in me and helped push me to different stages in my career. And yeah, it truly like takes a village. So it's that's kind of how it all started.
Mm-hmm. So you're originally from Canada, but you live in Nashville. So tell me that story about how you went from Canada, because I know you said you were in LA a little bit as well. So why Nashville, and what drove you to ultimately moving there?
So Nashville, really just there was some opportunities that were coming up for me at the time. There was a rock photographer named Robert Knight who ended up doing this showcase in Nashville at a place called Two Old Hippies back in the day. And I just started kind of networking in Nashville and networking with people at very early age there. And I feel like it's Music City. There's really only like three places that you go for music. And that was one of them, and I just loved it. I loved the fact that there's a lot of horses and farms because I'm such a farm girl. Heart, I used to have a farm.
Yeah.
And it just felt very homey to me, and that's kind of just where the door started opening. So it wasn't really like, oh, I have to go there, that's the place. But when opportunities started opening up, a lot of people were based in Nashville and LA.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of naturally happened that way.
Awesome. So talk to me about some of the collaborations that you've had with songwriters and producers and what that taught you about the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I've had so many amazing collaborations with songwriters and producers. One of the like greatest moments that I can look back at was I was in Nashville and I was working with, his name at the time was Mike Krampus, producer, and he brought in a bunch of different writers for this project that we were working on. As a country rock project. And I was sitting in the room. One of the writers was Steve Diamond. And what's very funny is that Steve Diamond was actually the person that brought me onto the show, Bandit. So it's funny how connections kind of start coming back. But I remember I was in the room with him and I was like, this is so crazy. He's wrote some of my favorite songs and he's sitting here working on my project. And I was so nervous. It was like the coolest experience. And then they were bringing in some other writers who Steve was friends with, Clay Mills, who's worked on, you know, unbelievable country songs and Reba and just so much stuff. And I just think like the coolest thing ever was all five of these writers at the one day were all in the room, and we were writing this kind of Shania Twain inspired party song.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked around the room, and there was a couple just really amazing people there, and I was like, wow, like we're in the middle of nowhere, we're in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and everyone's here writing for a project for me. And it's crazy because these names are some of the biggest names in the music industry. And I grew up listening to, you know, Robbie Neville was one of the people that was zoomed in, and he wrote everything from Hannah Montana to, you know, all the Disney stuff and High School Musical. And so it was just a crazy experience to have these people believe in me and to want to be a part of my music. And it's such a humbling thing. I honestly still don't like get it. It doesn't quite register to me. But it was so crazy. And that was like a turning point in my career in life where I was like, okay, even though I have bad days, like something must be happening that's right, because I don't deserve to be in a room with these people. It is so cool. And I'm so blessed and grateful. And I just like sucked it all in that day. And, yeah, I've been very lucky to be surrounded by so many amazing people in the music industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All the working and all the writing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It came to you and it brought you to Nashville. And you mentioned Steve Diamond, and I was going to say, hey, how did you get connected with people? But it actually does make sense. So I guess he was affiliated with the show, and then he mentioned your name to the producers. Is that how it worked?
Yeah. So I guess I'll tell like the whole story because it's kind of funny. It's short, but it's funny. So the rent in our house in Nashville was up, and I was going to go visit my parents for a little bit in California. And I had like, you know, my suitcase ready to go. I was, you know, getting ready to leave Nashville. There was so many different opportunities in Nashville that I got so close to, and then something would happen and just completely kibosh it, and I didn't know what it was, and I was getting so frustrated. And so I was like, I think I'm just going to take some time to go see my family and just get out of town for a little bit, reset, and come back with a game plan. And I get this call a week before I leave, and it's Steve, and he's like, hey, what's up? It's like, hey, he's like, so I have a question for you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, have you ever considered reality TV? And at first I was like, no, absolutely not. And he's like, what if I told you it was a music show? And I was like, okay, cool. What's going on? He's like, well, it's in Nashville. It's going to be filmed next week. Kind of the bad news is that you need to give an answer by tomorrow, or they're going to choose someone else because they really need, yeah, he's like, they really need a quick answer on this.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the choice is yours. If you want it, it's yours. I can send over some paperwork and I'll have the show contact you. And I was like, this is so crazy. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. So here I am with my bags packed. House is, you know, is done. And I find out I have to be filming for 10 weeks at this remote location. Mm-hmm. The craziest thing was when they sent me the contract, the place was only 20 minutes from where I was living in Nashville. So it's like, okay, this is really cool. So I contacted my lawyer at the time, who was in Canada, and I felt so bad. He was having his Thanksgiving dinner, his Canadian Thanksgiving. And he was like, I don't think you realize how big of a deal this actually is. Like, you really need to look into this. And so he left his dinner. He was on the phone with me for like 2.5 hours. And he's like, look, I've been, you know, helping you since you were 13. If you don't take this opportunity, you're crazy. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to audition. I'm going to do it. I'm really, really going to try to make this happen. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, good luck. So I hung up the phone. I went to the Musicians Hall of Fame. I did my audition there. And right away they were like, it's yours if you want it. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. I guess we're doing this. So I moved in and didn't look back. And I'm so grateful I did. It was the fastest yes I've ever said in my life. And it ended up leading to us winning the show, which is insane. It blows my mind still to this day. It's so crazy.
Yeah, yeah. But I love that story because, right, you're like, you want to go visit your family and you're like bags are packed. And then Steve, hey, I have this opportunity. Like, are you in? And you're like, but I feel like timing is one of those things. Like maybe it happened at a different time and you would have said no. But like I kind of feel like the stars aligned for you
Yeah.
and everything worked out the way it was supposed to be because yes, you filmed the show last year. It just aired within the past couple months, and now you're like, wait, but we like won this show. So that's got to be such a surreal experience to be like, oh my God, I was actually just supposed to have like family time, but now I'm on the show and I'm in this house and we make all this music and I'm working with Wendy and these amazing people and oh my God, we won, right?
It was insane. Like honestly, I've shed like way too many tears over this whole entire situation. It's been insane. And then we ended up writing a song about the whole experience and it was on the show. So that was crazy. And it was the We Are Stars song.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's insane. It's beautiful and God answers prayers and I'm very excited.
Oh, I love that. And thank you so much for telling your story. It's so important for people watching this, whether they're musicians or whether they're just fans of yours, just to like always keep your mind open to new possibilities because you never know. Like you had to give an answer within a day and you're like, whoa, wait, like
Yeah.
Right decision, but what is the right decision?
Yeah, and you don't know. I mean, like, I didn't know. I kind of thought, like, maybe, like, is this a scam? Like, I was like, I know Steve, but, like, does Steve really know what's going on? Like, this sounds too good to be true. And it honestly wasn't really until I saw that stage. That was, like, our second week that we were there where I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, what did I say yes to? Like, this is like, this is next level.
Yeah.
It's yeah, so that was really amazing. But yeah, I mean, you say yes to everything. You don't know what's gonna happen. And for me, it was funny because my parents were like, "So, have you thought about it? Are you gonna do it?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And they're like, okay. And I went and drove to the store and I bought like a bunch of stuff for the 10 weeks. And my mom's like, so you're doing it? I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, why are you buying stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I just, in case I do it,
Yeah.
I have stuff. And she's like, you're doing it. I'm like, no, I don't know. But the whole time, I think just in my soul, my gut, I knew I had to do it, but my mind was just so nervous about it because it was something that I've never done before. And it was just a crazy experience. So it's insane how things work out when you just like go, I don't know, but let's see what happens, and I'm just gonna show up and see where it goes. And yeah, that's where it led. It was crazy.
Yeah. I love that though. You need to say yes to things because you never know when the opportunity might come up.
Never
The thing
know.
is, nobody had heard of Banded before. And so when people got approached to do the show, all the musicians, even myself got asked to host the podcast, I was like, wait, what is this? And then I don't really know what's going on. It was like, I think I don't know if it's real. And then like, I'm so happy I said yes because like I love the show. I love the concept of the show. And I've met many amazing people from the show, including yourself, and watching your journey and seeing you from a solo independent artist to now with a band and a record deal. Like that's pretty wild.
It's wild. It's wild. And yeah, I think that's been the most exciting thing is like seeing it build because it's like this baby to them. It's so new and everyone's so passionate and so excited about it. But I mean, we're trying something brand new. They're trying something brand new.
Right.
And you don't know how people are going to react. And I think the coolest moment for me, I would say, was episode 5. And the crowd, so we had people there watching the show, but the crowd started off a little small in the beginning, but after every single episode, there would be more and more people. And we were like, oh, this is really cool. Like people want to come and see it and stay there. And by the time we hit that 5th episode, it started getting like pretty packed. And it was like, okay, this is crazy. Like, what's happening? People are actually loving this. And when we went on stage, people were yelling Starland and like, you know, talking to us after and stuff. And it was really cool. And we are like, oh my gosh, they actually like know our band. Like, this is so crazy. Yeah. And I think it's just, it's so cool because for us, it's been such, like, it's been a little hidden thing. And then when people start coming and seeing and like they're receptive to the music and they love it and they love the bands and they're taking pictures and, you know, making those relationships with the bands on stage because everyone was so talented throughout this whole entire show. It was unbelievable. Yeah. But it's just so cool when you start seeing people get excited and actually want to be a part of what's going on. And it was a really cool moment for me where I was like, okay, this is actually like really cool. This is a show that's going to work and people are going to be excited about it. And they're, you know, telling their friends every week to come to the next filming, and it grew and it grew. And it's really cool to see that.
Yeah. And especially because people are so excited for you, for Starland. And it's always like, what is next week going to bring? Like, what song are you going to sing? Are you going to bring cheerleaders, the choir? Like, it was so cool. I was always wondering what you guys were going to do next.
Yeah, so are we. We were like, Wendy, what are we doing? Like, we would all sit and we would talk and try to just make the show the best that we could. And the one day, I think it was Rob, like, mentioned as a joke, like, we should have cheerleaders. And we're like, of course he would mention that. And then Wendy, like, starts calling up. I think she called up, like, 30 different schools in Nashville. Yeah. And she had an answer in less than 48 hours of, it was Belmont that ended up saying yes, but that they were like, yeah, like, we'll do it. We'll do whatever. Come in after practice and we'll run through the song. We're like, oh my goodness. So she was just always making sure that we were up in the game. And yeah, just, it was so fun to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't even know what's happening. Like, we're excited, but you're just like, yeah, we don't know what's happening until they give us our assignment.
Yeah, we have no idea. Like, it was literally week by week. So we had no idea what was going on until we got the assignment. And we would just write. Like, as soon as we got our assignment, we would just write and try to just get something as good as we could. Yeah. And there were so many songs that have never even seen the light of day. Like, we wrote a bunch of songs when we were there. But sometimes we were like, is it going to top the last one? And I think that was our biggest fear, was when we did Code Yellow. You know, that song didn't win that week, but I think our band would all agree on this if I asked them. But that is still like our favorite song on the show. And I think we were nervous about, like, what does the direction look like after that song? And are we going to be able to do better than that song? Because for us, we were like, this is kind of who we are. This is what we want to say. We were so excited about it. And then when we lost on it, we were like, okay, back to the drawing board. Maybe this isn't what we're supposed to be doing. So all the time it was kind of like are we doing enough? Do we need to do more? Is the song going to be better than the last one? Can it be better than the last one? And that added like a lot of stress too. But I think it helped us think outside of the box and try to deliver the best songs that we could at the end of the day. And super happy with how it all happened, but there's so many songs that we wrote that never even went on that stage. So that was a cool kind of thing too. And I don't know what we'll do with those. Maybe we'll release them. But it's really interesting to see how a band can progress and start to finish, what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely. And we were able to see that right here on the show.
Yeah. And we were living it too as a band, which was so cool, because we were like, yeah, are we going to be able to do better? And it was really cool to see how we all vibed and did the best that we could with what we had each week.
So let's talk about your band specifically and the dynamics within the group. I know you're all like very close, so talk to us about that.
Yeah, we're so close. I think the funniest thing was we were all getting our bands in the very beginning, and we were labeled band 1 to 5. So we were band 5, and we were called last. And we all kind of just saw, like, we had a day before they put us into bands to just kind of merge and talk and get to know everybody. And on the second day, we made relationships with everyone already. The funny thing is, I never talked to Will, Rob, and Sergio. It was just me and Molly that formed like an immediate friendship right away. And she actually ended up rooming with me. So we were super close. And when it was just all of us standing there for band 5, we're like, we never talked to these guys. Like, Molly was like, oh no, I think they're punk. I'm like, oh gosh, because like we were both country.
Yeah.
And we're like, is this gonna work out? Like, she's like, I don't know, I'm so scared. And so we went upstairs and we all started communicating, and it was crazy because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I had immediate doubts with them right away because we all come from different backgrounds and we just didn't vibe right away. Like, we were the last ones to talk and hang out on the first day. And Rob came up with this really cool riff. It was the Code Yellow riff, and I started kind of humming a little, melody over it. And when we met Wendy for the first time that day, it was like probably an hour later, and she came upstairs and she's like, hey, can you sing a song? Any song, I just want to hear what your voice sounds like. And I sang a little bit of Code Yellow. I'm like, we just wrote this, in 30 minutes, and we don't know if it's anything cool, but we just want you to hear it. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I started realizing very quickly that we all had a very similar writing style. And even though Molly came from a country background, she would listen to like MGK, which was Rob and Sergio's favorite artist, and Will loved the rock side of things. And so we kind of just found a sound that worked for everyone really quickly. And we never really talked about what it looked like. We just all started playing and vibing and creating, and Code Yellow came out that day. We were like, okay, this is what we'll do.
Wow.
And so I think the coolest thing is, like, as the seasons went, or as the songs went on and the days went on, we would, just hang out and grab burgers and go downtown, and, like, every single day that we saw each other, everyone would want to hang out after we wrote and recorded. And it was really special to have that, because I know a lot of the other bands had that connection,
mm-hmm.
but there was just something with our band that was just so special. Like, we always wanted to be with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, even now, like, we call each other all the time, FaceTime each other all the time, and it's really cool to see how we're all from different worlds. We all have different personalities, and somehow it works, and it's a beautiful, amazing thing. And it's genuine.
Yeah. And that's wild, because you guys were all strangers before this show happened. And then it's 25 random musicians. You're put into this band. You have Wendy, and it's like, okay, so like, you guys don't know each other, but see what happens.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So insane. But we had so much fun together. Like, we have so many videos that I still gotta post, and we just had a lot of fun, and we were always doing something. And I mean, like, we all said it too, like, when the show ended, we were like, those were literally the best 2 months of our lives. Like, it was amazing. It was so cool. You'll never have an experience like that again. And yeah, we're all very blessed, and we're all banded for life. We say that all the time, but we're definitely banded for life.
Banded for life. And it's wild. Yeah, because you're in a band, right? But how many bands actually live together? Like, you were living in the same house.
Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot. And it's funny too, like, I thought we'd have like we had little like disagreements, but we never had anything major.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about winning Song of the Night 3 times. Like, hello, I'm so happy that you guys won. That's like a huge, huge hit thing to win once, but then you win a record-breaking 3 times. So what do you think set your performances apart from the other bands on the show?
I mean, first of all, I think our work ethic was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying at all that the other bands didn't work hard. I know that they worked so hard, and they were in those rooms all night long, and you know, they really made sure every single week to bring their A game. But there was times where like we were there until sometimes like 10:30, 11 at night, and we would start at 7 a.m. So there was a lot of times that we were just trying to perfect our performances the best that we could. I have a video of basically the whole band, except for me and Molly, because we ended up getting sleep the night before, but the whole band lying on the floor, falling asleep, and Rob's just like hitting the space button on the keyboard to start playing the track. And so, I mean, we were tired. We were working long days, and we put in a lot of work. And I think that was really just one of the main things that allowed us to stand out from other bands, was that we tried our best to bring our A game every single week and constantly top what we did. And just again, like, we had so many songs. And we would try to just, I mean, we could have submitted them and said, you know, this is it. This is the song that we're going to do that week. But if we could do better, we would. And we would start from scratch, and we wouldn't care how long it would take. We would just make sure it was better. So the work ethic in everybody was something I think that was admirable and helped us win the show. And just putting in those extra hours when we didn't feel like it, or not going out that night, or whatever it was, we'd be in that room above the garage working all the time, constantly. And I think that really helped us. And then also too, brainstorming like ideas. And we always joke, we always said like Molly was our band manager, but really she was. And I see she put little hearts down there, so hi Molly. But she really was, like, she'd make sure that we all had our outfits coordinated every single week. She'd be like, guys, like, what are we wearing? Let's go shopping. You know, what's our outfits going to look like? What's our stage show going to look like? She'd like set up cones and make sure that we were practicing all the time. And so it was something that was really special. We really were focused, and we really made sure that we stayed focused the whole entire show. And I'm proud of everybody. We pushed through on some of the hardest days and some of the most exhausting days. And I believe that's why Starland won.
Yeah, amazing. I love how your outfits coordinated stage presence, because I think a lot of people, whether they're musicians or fans of musicians, you need to know how important it is to have a stage presence, use the whole stage, and make sure that, like, yeah, you have that, you know, the ramp where you're like running down, and then it's just so important to make it a spectacle. And I love how they said that you were arena ready, because like you totally are.
That was an insane comment. Yeah. That was a comment that blew all of our minds. I remember the next day we were all upstairs and we were like, Mark said we were arena ready. Like, that's crazy, guys.
Wild.
Like, that's wild. That is absolutely wild.
Yeah. Talk to me about your outfits, because I remember that one outfit, it was black, but then there was like little gems all over it. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that outfit. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Was that the finale one?
It was the finale one.
Yeah. So me and Molly went to the showroom in Nashville, and we were walking around and trying to find outfits for the boys, because just me and her, we're funny like that. We're like, we just got to have everyone coordinating. Let's figure this out. And everyone in the band has really good style and really fun style. So we're just picking out stuff for them, like sending pictures to see if they liked it. And Molly was like, oh my gosh, look at this sparkly drum suit. And she found this beautiful like outfit that she wore in the finale. And I was like, okay, we're doing sparkle theme then. So I started looking for a bunch of different outfits, and the lady at the store was so amazing. She owns the store, and she was like, how about this one? And pulled out this cat suit. And I was like, that's exactly what I need. I love this. So I tried it on. I sent it to wardrobe, and they're like, we're picking it up. No questions asked. That is perfect. And so we kind of just coordinated the band around the girls' outfits, and they killed it. Wardrobe absolutely killed it with outfits. And the boys had visions of what they wanted, and they just found them exactly what they were thinking of. And it was really amazing. But yeah, shout out to Showroom in Nashville, because that outfit was killer. I loved it. I'm so sad that I didn't get to keep it.
But you have some amazing videos and photos.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was like, come on, I want this so bad. But like again, I don't know where I would wear that again. Like you can't really wear that in public.
Well, yeah, totally. I completely understand. So
Yeah.
were the gems in the back as well? Because I knew they were in the front.
They were everywhere. Like it was just all pearls, and like you couldn't sit down on it, or if I did sit, I'd have to be like this because the pearls would just be poking at me. So yeah, it was intense, and I had like 3 people help me put it on. Yeah.
It's perfect for a stage show, but I was asking if the pearls were in the back because that's got to be really uncomfortable when you're sitting down and you have like, 20 pearls like you're sitting on. You're like, that does not feel good.
Oh yeah, wardrobe was like you can't go to the bathroom, like do everything you need to do right now. Like once that's on, it's not coming off. So it's like okay. But yeah, it was comfortable to wear, but you couldn't sit down, you couldn't do anything. So
Yeah. Well, you pulled it off. You looked absolutely amazing.
thank you.
Videos. And yeah, I think it would be hard to sit in. Like
Oh yeah.
in it, you're just like, yep, can't do anything else.
No. It's like hard little peas all over you. Yeah.
So how did it feel to work closely with your mentor, Wendy Starland, throughout the competition?
It was unbelievable. Wendy is somebody that like she does what she says. She means what she says. She is a doer. She is all for the band. She is all for just love. She's an amazing, amazing, amazing person. Like she honestly is an incredible person. There's not many people like Wendy out there in the world. And when I met her right away, I was very nervous because I had the very quick spiel of who she was, like 15 minutes after I met her. And I was like, oh, okay, Lady Gaga, that's big.
Yeah.
And we didn't know who our mentors were going to be. We also didn't know if we were going to meet our mentors that day. It was just kind of random. And I remember we finished Code Yellow, and the whole film crew came up, and they're like, hey, guys, just cut it for a second. We're just going to do a quick video. And we're like, okay. And they set up all the lights. It was super intimidating. And they're like, okay, so Wendy, come in. And she like came in and they're like, we just want to introduce you guys to Wendy Starland. She's going to be your mentor for the whole show. And I'm like, oh, okay. So for me, that was a crazy moment because I was already starstruck after meeting her and knowing her story and who she was. And then to have her as a mentor was just insane. And Wendy, she's just, you just need to, everyone needs to have someone like Wendy in their corner. Like she's a cheerleader, and when she loves something, she will genuinely like put her heart and soul into everything that she does. There was times where the band was getting sick, and just this like one particular moment just made me be like, wow, like this lady is just too much. Like she's amazing. But the band was getting sick, and she came up with a whole entire vitamin C bottle and blankets, and she had all these water bottles in her hand. She's walking up the stairs, and I ran down. I'm like, Wendy, do you need help? She's like, no, I'm good, I'm good. And she comes up and she like gives everyone a water and a vitamin C and puts a blanket over Will, and I'm like, wow, like she just, everything she does is out of love and care, and she's an amazing person, and she really made sure the whole entire time that the band was healthy and that everyone was on the same page. And yeah, you don't meet many people like that, and especially in the music industry where it's such like a cutthroat industry, and people are obviously in it for a lot of times money and all of that kind of stuff. Wendy is just somebody that genuinely cares first before anything, and we are so lucky and so blessed to have her. And if we didn't have her, I don't believe the outcome would have been the same on the show. It wouldn't have.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, Wendy is so amazing. I'm glad that you guys had that pair up together. You're after her as well.
Yeah, no, seriously. And it was so fun in LA. We were doing some Booze and Boys tracks together, and she'd like hop in on the mic, and she loves it. Like she's just so happy. And at the end of the show, we got her this like Starland hoodie, and we put like a big WS on it. We would call her like our momager, and
Ah,
she had her own little hoodie, and it was just really fun and really special. And she loves Starland, and we love her, and we're just so grateful to have her in our corner. And we always said, like, you know, obviously we formed this amazing bond on the show with the band and with her, but this friendship's a forever thing. Like, we've built something so beautiful and special, and everybody is always in contact. And even with Wendy, I'm always in contact with Wendy, and was hanging out with her in LA almost every other week. And it's been so like special to build those relationships even off of the show too, and be able to have a friend like her to help and guide us. It's really rare and very special.
yeah. Oh, we love Wendy, and we love
We love Wendy.
happy that the show brought all of you guys together, because right, if you didn't do the show, you wouldn't have met all these amazing people.
Never,
You
never. And how do you get that many amazing people in a room? It doesn't happen unless it's like an award show or something.
Right.
You don't get an experience like that.
Definitely. So, what advice do you have for aspiring musicians?
Keep going. I think that's the most important thing. There's been so many days where I've just been like, is this the right thing? You get told no a lot. Yeah. There's so many times where you doubt yourself and doubt your ability, because it's a really hard industry. And I always tell people that want to go into it, I'm like, it's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. It's not easy at all. You really have to be mentally strong. I think that was another thing that I really had to fight through the last couple of years, because you get disappointed, you get discouraged, and it's like, you know, you have this dream and all this excitement when you're younger, and you think that you could just shoot for the stars, but it's a grind. It is a grind, and you have to surround yourself with good people and just keep pushing yourself. And even though the days that are hard are there, they're going to help bring you to a day that's going to be really good. And then there's going to be another crappy day, but then it's going to get good again. So you just got to keep going and just honestly do it because you love it, because that's what keeps me going all the time. And I believe that if you work hard enough at something, then there's going to be results. You just have to keep going, though, and don't make it a plan B, and just keep pushing and try to push through all those feelings, all those emotions, and be yourself. That's another thing. Yeah. Like, be yourself. There's so many people in this industry that are trying to be somebody else, mm-hmm. and there's no room for that. Like, you can't push through to the next level because someone's already doing it. So you just have to do something different and unique. And I guess the last thing is, like, be adaptable, because I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be in a band. I didn't like the idea of a band. I didn't think that it was something that was gonna fulfill me as much as being a solo artist does and did. And looking back, I'm like, wow, I'm happy doing both. I am completely happy doing both, and I'm content, and I love my band, and I love the solo stuff still. But if I wasn't adaptable, I wouldn't have been able to have that experience, or I let ego in the way. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to have that experience. So yeah, be adaptable and say yes to everything, and just be open to it changing, because it might, and that's okay. And it's going to be fun either way, but do it because you love it. And that's the best advice I could give.
I love it. And I think that you gave us so much good advice, because you have to be adaptable, and you have to test the things, because right, like, you could have just gone and seen your parents that one time and not taken the opportunity to go on the show, or you could have said, oh, being a solo artist, I don't want to do a band. But because you kept yourself open to new possibilities, you're just like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to go that way, but like, we're doing it, and I'm happy with the decisions, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it could have went anyway differently if I didn't just follow my heart and do it because I felt like I needed to. Like, if I took that feeling and even for a second questioned the show, or questioned, you know, if it was real or not, and all the thoughts that I had in my mind in the beginning, I wouldn't have ended up being where I was. And even on the crappiest days of Banded, when we were really, really tired, and when we were just it takes a lot to write a song mentally. It takes a lot of energy and time. So some days we just be like brain dead and wanting to just, you know, shop or eat food or whatever it was. In those moments, I would just be like, I'm here and I'm doing something that I love doing.
Yeah.
And as tired as I am, or as crummy as this day is, or whatever's going on, like, we're literally living our dreams today. And the whole band would say that so many times. We were like, guys, it's fine. We're living our dreams. Like, look at what's happening right now. And that made the experience so worth it. Like, you know, I would come home with so much energy some days, and my family would be like, how are you not tired? And I'm like, because I'm doing what I love, and I just have to keep reminding myself that. And when I did, it was amazing. Like, you're literally living your dreams. It's the coolest thing in the world. And trying to just absorb that, realizing that, you know, it's only 10 weeks. That's all we have to be able to enjoy every single one of these days. So how are we going to do that?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say something about a comment that's in here.
Yeah.
Jess Novak is in the house. She was on my show as well. She says she has a question for you. Do you want to take a question from Jess? Do you want to do that real quick, Jaclyn?
Yeah. What's your question?
Jess, tell us your question really quick. I hope Jess is still in here. Yeah, Jess was on my show a couple of episodes ago. Jess is a musician in Central New York, and she says she absolutely loves your music. So Jess,
hello.
Your question in the comment. But in the meantime, Jaclyn, tell all the beautiful people in the room where they can follow you and how they can support you on your musical journey.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on just my Instagram, so Jaclyn Kenyon Music, and I spell it the nice short way. Everyone's always like, is it the Jacqulyn? But it's Jaclyn and then Kenyon Music. And the show just started airing in Canada, which is so exciting, on Game TV, so you guys can go and follow it there every Saturday night at 7. And I'll be posting constantly about it. There's also a couple shows on my page that are going to be happening throughout the summer, so if you guys want to check that out. I kind of try to post as much as I can. And then on TikTok as well, I'm pretty active. I'm just Jaclyn Kenyon Music on there as well.
Yeah, so all the beautiful people that are in this, watching the play, wherever you are seeing this, please support Jaclyn on all social platforms and her band Star.
Yeah.
And just 1 minute, Jess says she put the question in. Oh, Jess, I don't see your question. Jess, if you could just put your question in the comments, we'll get to it after Jaclyn performs 2 songs for us. So Jaclyn, do your thing, girl. Take it away.
All righty. Well, I picked this song because I love Michael Jackson. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. And so I just kind of cover this one my own little way. If you guys like it or know it, you can sing along. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. She said, I don't mind, but do you mean I am one who will dance on the floor in a row? She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one. 'Cause we danced on the floor in a row. Oh, and people always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Oh, and mama always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what you do, because the lie becomes the truth. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims I am the one, but the kids are my son. Yeah. For 40 days and who can't stand when she's in demand, schemes and her plans. 'Cause we dance on the floor and round. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Oh, and people always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Yeah, mama always told me, be careful who you love and be careful what you do, because the light becomes the truth. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Oh, Billie Jean's not my lover. She's just a girl who claims I am the one, but the kid's not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yay! I
Thank
love
you.
when people cover Michael Jackson as acoustic version. That was awesome.
Thank you. He's so fun. I love
So
him.
much fun. And what is your next song?
So my next song is an original song. And this song was written in Nashville when I first moved to town. So this song is special to me. It's called Your Mom. And the song is all about dating somebody and along the line things didn't work out, but you really miss their family.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom in particular. And this was from a real experience that I went through when we were talking about just songs that day. Someone in the room was like, oh, maybe you should just call it Your Mom. And so we ended up writing this song, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. I've been missing those miss you checking in texts, and how I never had to ask for a compliment. I wish losing you didn't mean losing a best friend. The first person I call when I'm upset. Had to delete your number from my phone just so I'm not tempted. Didn't know how much we lost when it ended. And now I only drive around this town, so we'll run into each other. Check her Instagram account, 'cause I can't help but wonder if our pictures are still up, or if I'm the only one who can't move on. I hate they're gone, 'cause I miss you more. She was always good for some good advice, over morning coffee or red wine nights. And you'd always used to hate when she'd take my side, 'cause she knew I was right, you knew I was right. And now I only drive around this town, so we'll run into each other. Check her Instagram account, 'cause I can't help but wonder if our pictures are still up, or if I'm the only one who can't move on. I hate they're gone, 'cause I miss your mom. 'Cause I miss your mom. treated me like family, made her house feel like home. And it isn't you I'm missing, I hope you know. Boy, I hope you know that only drive around your town, so we'll run into each other. Check her Instagram account, 'cause I can't help but wonder if our pictures are still up, or if I'm the only one who can't move on. I hate they gone, 'cause I miss you, Mom. 'Cause I miss you, Mom. Thank you.
I love it. And I also completely agree with your song, because I feel like kind of happy I broke up with some people, and like, yeah, like I miss their mom more than I miss them.
Yeah, I know. Family is like everything. I have a friend that's in the same situation right now. And she was like, I don't miss him, but I really miss his family, and it sucks. I'm like, yeah, that does suck.
It's not like you just break up with one person, you're breaking up with the whole family. And it's like, do I still stay in contact? Like,
I know.
kind of situation, you know?
I know. The grandma's the worst.
Definitely. So this is the point of the show where if there are people in here that have questions for Jaclyn, please feel free to put them in the comments below. Jess Novak, if you're still in here, please put it in the comment section below. Jess, I didn't see your comment or your question, but please put it in the comments. And if anybody else in here has questions for Jaclyn, any kind of question, feel free. Put it.
Any question.
Question. So what are your plans for the rest of the summer?
Well, I'm gigging a lot, playing a lot of shows, and kind of just building up the Bandit show right now, and waiting for that to build the way that it's Canada's turn for that to happen. So kind of just waiting it out, playing gigs, hanging with family. I've been going boating a lot. Gonna learn how to ski this year, which I'm very excited about. Hanging with my dog. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love it. So can you tell us where some of your gigs are in the next couple weeks or so?
Yeah, so I'm playing at Windermere. I have 3 different gigs there throughout the summer, and I just did one there. It was really, really fun. Yeah. And I have a couple different golf courses that I'm playing at this year, which is going to be awesome. And everything is kind of just small and intimate right now, just because with the show building and all that kind of stuff. So it's all very small, intimate acoustic gigs, which I'm not normally used to, but I wanted to do that this summer just because of how everything's been going on. So I'm posting a lot about all the shows through my Instagram, so you guys can go check them out there. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for right now.
Yeah, so guys, check out Jaclyn. She's doing a lot of acoustic small shows. It's very different from her stuff on Bandit.
Yeah, very different. Very different. But it's fun. It's like, you know, just kind of coffee house vibes, guitar, piano, and they're fun sets to have. I really love those like small, intimate performances. I haven't done them in so long, so I'm so grateful to be able to do that this summer and have gigs again. It's been very fun.
Yes, very, very cool. So what does success mean to you, Jaclyn?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit, Ashley. What does
success mean to you?
Success to me means doing what you love doing. I have tried so many things that I thought would make me happy, and music is the one thing that just makes sense. It's always made sense from the beginning. And success to me means truly just, it's not about, you know, I think this is one of the biggest things that I go off all the time too. It's how can I be of service when I'm on stage? It's not about myself. It's how can I serve on that stage and use that time for other people. When it's about yourself, there's never, there's never success. When I'm talking about being happy, it's truly because I'm writing music that people can feel something about, and that makes me happy. Or I go on stage and someone comes up to me after and goes, "Wow, you sang a song that I'm going through, and something shifted in me, and I need to hear it on YouTube."
Yeah.
Or I listen to your song on Spotify all the time to get me through this situation or this thing. And just talking to people and having that connection is so amazing. And success is honestly just about how you can use yourself as a vessel for other people. And that's what's going to make you so happy at the end of the day, is when you can do that. And so I love it, and that's what I live for. And yeah, I hope I can do that for a very long time. I absolutely love it.
Beautifully said. I think it's so amazing when people are of service to other people, because it's really not about me. It's about like, what can I give to my fans and my audience, and like, how can I connect with my fans, because they will really tell you. I mean, you might speak to a fan that says something about a song, and then you get an idea just by speaking to that person, right?
Yeah, you do. And like all the time, even when I'm writing a song, it's like, okay, yeah, like I've been through this situation in my life, but how do I word it or say it differently so that I can relate to other people, so that it's not so personal that it doesn't make sense to somebody?
Yeah.
Because music is such a beautiful thing, and people have to feel it, and they have to be able to get it in their soul, and you're the person that is delivering that. And I think one of the biggest things for me was I always used to get really nervous in front of small crowds, like very, very nervous. And I would always be okay in bigger crowds. And I think it's just because in small crowds, so many people are looking at you,
Right.
and it's a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah.
But when I started shifting my mindset about, like, it's not about me, it's about me being of service to other people, that's when stuff started changing. Because it was like, if I make it about me, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous, and I don't want to go out there, and I hate doing it. But when you come from that perspective of it is for other people, and you have to deliver your best so other people can feel what you're feeling, it changes everything. And it's so cool, and it takes the pressure off of you, and it just allows you to be in that moment, like, with your fans. And these are the people that are buying concert tickets and streaming your songs. Like, they don't get enough credit. I've always said that. I don't feel like fans get enough credit at all. And music is truly for them at the end of the day. I think you can kind of get caught up with like the stage performance and the shows and the opportunities and all this outside stuff. But if it's not for the people that are buying your songs and streaming your music and coming to your shows, like, it's nothing. It's not, nothing matters.
Yeah.
So it's really important to make sure that everything that we do with Starland and everything that I'm doing on my own as an individual artist is always focused on the people that are listening to our music and love what we're doing, because it's really about them at the end of the day. We're just there to, be a part of that.
Definitely. So I think we're getting Starland merch, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. We're definitely getting Starland merch soon. We have these very cute hoodies, and we wanted to make just merch that people would want to wear. We didn't want our name like plastered all over the place, and we wanted to just keep it as low-key as we could. And they're very cute. They have a little star on the front. They say Starland in the back, and we're going to have a bunch more of those made because people have been asking us where to get them, and we kind of just made them for fun. And then we started selling them like crazy after the shows. So we definitely will be getting merch. And if you follow the Starland account, we will have all the information there for you guys once it becomes available.
Yes. Follow Starland on Instagram and check out Bandit on Game TV in Canada. Jaclyn, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, this
of course.
Amazing. I really loved having just a one-on-one conversation and learning more about you and your artistry. And I'm so grateful for you coming on my show.
Thank you, Ashley. It's been so fun, and thank you for letting it be such a safe place to just talk. And it was fun. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, guys. If you don't already, please make sure to follow Starland and Jaclyn. They're everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. The episodes are on Access TV and the app, or on Game TV if you're in Canada. Jaclyn, thank you so much for joining me on. Guys, don't already, please make sure to follow Jaclyn. And if you're new here, I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And please make sure to follow me as well because I interview incredible musicians just like Jaclyn. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Jaclyn, thank you so much. I'm so very appreciative. Please come back soon. And
I will.
yes, have a beautiful weekend.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.